Alright. Returning to Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. Do we need anything before we go ahead? 2 potions. 1, 2. Awesome. Now, what are we starting with here? Oh, right. We have the urgent quest. And that's going to be the blonga gonga gonga gaga blah blah. My next request requires a true master. Okay. Oh, I went too far. Mistakes have been made. Uh-oh. Okay. So, in this case, what? We have very little of, that left. And you know what? I don't really have a frog. So, I don't really want to deal with Plesioth and its farming. So yeah, I guess let's give the ruler of the snow attempt. Yes. Okay, okay. I wanted to read the thing. I'm just gonna mess up a lot that's important right now. My next request requires a true master. Care to test yourself? I'd like you to hunt down the chief of the Snowy Mountains. Remember, on this quest, negligence is unforgivable. Okay. Let's go fight a monkey. That's ultimately what we're doing here. Whew. Alright. I can't say I have a great muscle memory for this monster. You know, it's gonna be a case for a couple of things in 2nd generation. It's a lot of really good monsters. Like, arguably, you could call it, like, the cast. I don't know your preference on that type of thing, but that's how it could be considered. And the cast of 2nd generation is pretty well stacked with interesting customers. I think they just brought back the Hermitar, like the large thing. I can't remember its name now, even though I fought it just recently. Daimyo Hermitar. There we go. I'm pretty sure they just brought that one back for Sunbreak, which is pretty awesome. I haven't played Sunbreak yet, and there's no real reason to it. I'm just like, this is the Monster Hunter I'm playing right now. While I really liked Rise, and I enjoyed that, I'm just gonna get to Sunbreak probably after all the patches drop. Just like all the updated monsters, all the additional content, and then I'll go through and I'll do it in like one big swell strike. Okay. Hi, Big Monk. That's a good roar. Whew. Alright, you got something like that. You got something like that. I imagine a high amount of mobility whenever you see a monster like this. Ooh. I think what's interesting about that move is actually he moves forwards a little bit. So he like does rise up to throw it and smash it. But that's really important to note when you're playing Greatsword. Otherwise you're going to plant yourself in the wrong place and totally miss your strike. I think there are conveniences to playing the old generation compared to Rise. Like, there's undeniably better movement in Rise. Like, if you've played the game riding on the dog, I can't remember its name. It's not Palico, but it's something. It's the dog companion. Or using the bug thing. lets you fly around. I'm bad with names, as you can tell. The zipline grapple hooky thing. That's super, super, super fun. And combining it with kind of like the Monster Hunter World style of open world design really lets you feel like you're zooming on through. Just as well, though, because monsters have been upgraded and they have higher quality animations and there's more movement in the bodies. They can move on finer angles, I guess is the way to explain it, as someone who's been playing Greatsword for a long time. Like, I always kind of view it as, what are those things you use in grade school to, like, mark out degrees? You know, it goes from, like, 0 to 180. It's usually, like, a half circle. And in, like, the middle of that, there's a bunch of intersecting lines that all kind of go certain degrees. But none of them cover every possible, like, it's like a certain amount, maybe it's every 5 degrees or something. And that's kind of how I view movement in games like this. Like, there's an axis, there's a wheel of options that they have, but it's not, at least it never appears to be perfectly circular. It's always walking on a line. But in the new games, they can do that, so they can kind of move more or less however they want. Oh, okay, well, I might die here, so we'll see if I do. I don't think I brought the thing that I need to get out of this. Oops. I was getting too distracted just talking, honestly. Kind of a threat in something like this. But I kind of got lucky, and it looks like he's leaving. Oh, you know what? I completely forgot to paintball him. Okay, well, it looks like he went this way, because based on the map, 6 is below 8, and I was correct. But let's not forget to do that again. Yes, hello. You are aggressive. Now you have a paintball butt. It's funny how the universe comes around like that. I do like the animations for the Blanca Conga, or whichever this guy is. A lot of follow through. There's a lot of really good momentum built into how he's handling himself. Like, yeah, look at that move. Like the follow through, the tumble over the shoulder. That was really well mapped. I think I'm in a unique situation where, for some reason, my controller is referencing my mouse. So I might need to change that in a second. I don't have it set to record the mouse, so it shouldn't show up. It's just weird. Okay, sir. Oh. Yeah, that's kind of fascinating. Give a sharpen in here. Kind of became quiet so I could focus on the fight. Didn't want to mess anything up, given that he probably hits pretty hard, and I'm not looking forwards to... This is probably a bad sharpen attempt. I might get lucky because he's like backwards jumping around. Now I got a hot drink. Okay. Hello, sir. Yep. Oh, that's a rage mode. That's probably not great for me. Yeah, okay. Massive jumping move. Great. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I totally messed there. Am I... Okay, I'm free. I'm alive. I can move. Oh. Yeah, he has a pretty good AoE radius on that. Oh, I'm right in the face of this creature. Okay, hello? Yes. Oh, right, I forgot that's the AoE one. That is a unique kind of like side move. He's like obviously trying to line up with something. Okay. I will... Oh, he's going even further than that. Okay. Well, then I'm just gonna take care of these things really quick. Okay. Cool. I recognized why I was having the issue I was having with my thing, so we're good. Not exactly a glamorous moment, but at the end of the day, sometimes you gotta stand and handle a controller issue. Alright. Oh, he went up there. I wonder, did he not actually enter the arena up until I entered the arena, or is that just like where he hangs out? I don't know. Hello? Yes. This is my sword. Got a wobble. Got out of that pretty quickly though, so no complaints. Okay. Oh, it's starting to like snow in here or something. Yes, sir. Alright. And dropped. Well, I mean the sword, not him. Darn. It's nice that even though he is like kind of considered a small monster, like in regards to the prey that we're gonna get into at this point in the game, there's a lot of really huge beasts and flying dragons. It's nice that even though he's not on the scale of like a huge creature, he's still large enough that I can get between his legs. It makes my life much easier. Ah, darn. Okay. He doesn't like to stay still for a terrible amount of hits, though. Now, I mean, why would he? I wouldn't want to either. Oh. Oh, I should have known better. Oh well. It seems that if I wiggle my controller stick, I do actually get out of that much quicker. So maybe it's not like holding L and R to catch a Pokemon faster back in elementary school. Maybe there is some merit to that. I think there actually is. Like, okay, is this your... Is that him injured? Or... I don't know what that is. Maybe it's just his, like, leaving an area movement. Yeah, I don't know this guy's physiology and behavior well enough to make a judgment call without knowing more. Alright. So you're in 7. I'll sharpen really quick just to have it done. It's a free not free ration, free whetstone. It is a free ration too. It's all free. At least all the stuff that we should be using every single time for those little advantages when we can get them. Hello, sir. Oh wow, you were really, really close. I didn't realize. So that was your weakness. Alright. Blonga. Blongonga. I don't know the pronunciation of things. Honestly, that's why I prefer to talk to people with text, because there's so many items, especially when it comes to like video games and, you know, shows or anime where you're only reading like the subs, so you don't know, you know, not hearing the word even if you're reading it. They don't. And I've learned a lot of language from that. So when I go to say something and somebody's like, that's not the word, it's horrible. I think I pronounced existential wrong for the longest time, and I can't even remember how I pronounced it. Like, that's how wrong it was. Like, once I learned the correction, I couldn't go back. But it's just because I never heard the word, I only read it. So I just like, oh, well, that sounded it out, that's how it should go. And no, it was very incorrect to make that assumption. Now that is our urgent quest here, so it looks like there's a few folks to talk to. Oh, it's you! To celebrate you slaying the Dodo Blagonga, we've stocked some new armor. We've got 3 pairs of special boots made from special alloys. Try the silver metal boots, dark metal boots, or pink metal boots. They can't be crafted from materials, so they're really beautiful boots. They have high defense too. I wish I was a Puss in Boots. But not the pink boots, because those are only worn by women. I don't know how well that's aged as a statement. Anyways, have yourself a look. Yo and hello. Word on the streets is you rid us of a Blagonga. Mighty fine job, if I do say so myself. If I figure you deserve something to commemorate the event, remember that Suiko jewel I gave you? Well, this time I have an even nicer jewel. It's called an Aikido jewel. You can use it to make the Expert jewel, which raises your affinity through the Reckless Abandon skill. You can also make an Early Bird jewel, which triggers the reloading speed skill and allows you to quickly reload your bowgun or bow. You can obtain an Aikido jewel in the swamp or the forest and hills. However, the best way to get them is mining the volcanic belt. I'll give you a few now so you can try them out and see what they do. Of course, leave taking on and off decorations to me, a professional. Welcome. So, you got rid of the Blagonga, huh? Well, thanks to you, we've been able to stock even more items. Here's one of the new items we got in. It's the Book of Combos 4. If you carry it along with books 1, 2, and 3, your success rate will skyrocket. We've also got some info on monsters. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff. New bowgun, great. I'm not really going to use that because I'm not really combining stuff right now. Though it's great to know I can buy that if need be in the future. Ha ha, you slay the Blaganga. I knew you had it in you. I'm just so thrilled you've gotten so strong. Now that I know how strong you are, I can trust you with this job over in the volcanic zone. The zone is an even hotter area than the desert, so protect yourself against the heat. There are many gathering points, and you may find rare ore. I also have to mention that there have been rumors lately of a monster called an Elder Dragon appearing close by. They are fiercely territorial and move within their own bounds. You can't always fight them, but you may come across one someday. Oh, I forgot about your rewards for defeating the Blaganga. It's something nice that I'm sure you'll find useful. A Poke ticket. Great. Alright, so now we have 4 star. We get a Red Kezu, 2 Velocidrome, Hornitars, a Venoblos, Yain Kutku and Blue Yain Kutku, an Iodrome, a Basarios, Shogun Centaur, Iapre, Centaurs, pieces of coal, and then finally a Kushala Deora. Oof. Well, that's clearly the one that we had to build up to. That's the toughest one. I guess we could try the Red Kezu. I kind of just want to knock out the Velocidrome really quick. Because this is a hunt, right? Yeah, it's not a capture. Let's make quick work of this one and see how many of the more approachable elements of this quest we can, or this rank we can get through. I do think capping it off with the Kushala Deora is going to be pretty interesting. I have not fought a original, like, generation Kushala Deora in what feels like a really long time. Ooh, this one's big. And they're pretty brutal for great swords. I think, like, Kushala Deora can be brutal for anyone. It's just that it really has a love affliction with tornadoes, being in the sky, and when you have to get in close to smack it, you're looking at a situation where the fight could take a reasonable amount of time because you're only really getting hits on, like, the tip of its head once every minute or two. Sometimes you have a better experience, you know, and it's possible to have a really good Kushala Deora run. And there are methods that negate it. I think it's weak to poison. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, you gonna deliver me the next Velocidrome? Perfect. I'm gonna finish this really quick, and then I'll be right with you, sir. Okay. Thank you for waiting. Dude. You know, I know that sometimes it's not always worth it to do lower rank quests, and I get that. We're not lower rank quests, but there's some easy ones in there. That being said, there's always triggers for the ultimate urgent quest that lets you go into the next star. It's usually a combination of things, some of the more mundane quests in the rank and some of the more challenging ones. Which ones are required to level up. And in Unite, what we seem to uncover is that you can unlock additional hunts and different monsters by taking out, you know, one that was kind of hidden behind the other. So we'll progress with that. Oh, nice, I got the heal from the flute. Probably poke through the little ones, build up. I'm tempted by the Red Kezu, because it could be a pretty direct upgrade to the armor that we're currently running. I'll have to see how much it differentiates stat-wise, and consider what else we upgrade, because Monobloats could be a really, really cool set to run as well. And then we want to build ultimately for Kushala Daora, so I'll have to consider what is ultimately going to work well there. I don't think there's like wind defense. Maybe Monoblos has like a sturdy effect to it that would help. I can't recall. Basarios might if Monoblos doesn't. A lot of thinking to do on that front. Cool. Alright, so it's time for some more 4-star. What do we have after the twin? Okay, so we have bugs. We have that. I mean, we might as well just go deal with the next, like, raptor. Try and keep it as much in a row as possible, maybe. You know what? That's not a bad path. At the end of the day, we're building up to yeah, let's go take care of this Iodrome really quick. Awesome. I think this is our first time in the volcano area. Lots of cool stuff here, and now that we're here, getting to the volcano area in Monster Hunter is usually also an indication that you've reached a point where you can start getting some higher quality ores. So there's a bunch of higher tier ore in this game. I think one of the most prominent ones to encounter at this point is like Dragonite, which is green. But there's more. Is Isium. That's another high quality ore. There's something with a C, but I can't really remember the name of the thing with the C. Okay, I'm looking for an Iodrome, so honestly, I don't know where this thing would prefer to be in the context of this map. We're just kind of gonna explore. Some of them are here, so that's cool. Well, the Eye of Prey. Not the drone. I'm going to imagine that it's not in this super red, and I'm also going to imagine that we're not going to get a cutscene for this monster. Just that it might not be unique enough to get one. Sometimes they're picky with who gets an introductory cutscene. You get a physiology, and you do not get a physiology, or a biology, or whatever they call them. Wow, okay, I guess I'm gonna... Either he's transitioning between areas, so I'm missing him, or he is indeed in the darker red areas. Which, you know, all the power to him. I just... For some reason, that wasn't my guess. Oh, we got coal. I don't even know if we can actually use coal, or we just, like, turn in coal at the end of a mission for bonus points. We'll see. I'm not upset with it either which way. I'm just curious. Ow. Ow. Okay, bug. You're interrupting my mining session. I just want to know if this vein is done. I think it is. Yeah. Cool. see if I could get some of those nicer ores, but nothing yet. Alright. This is indeed some eye of prey. I don't see any drone. Nowhere this whole way. Kind of feels like a misnomer. Probably got lost in an area transition. Mocholite, earth crystal, nothing. Alright, let's get out of here. I'll use my mistakes to mine. I'll poke into 9 really quick. Maybe he's transitioned back here. No. Okay, I'm gonna try out. I think it's 3. Not seeing him. That doesn't mean he isn't here. Just that I don't detect him. That was just regular raptor roaring, right? Yeah. Alright. Getting the roam on here. I think it's pretty divisive between people who like this part of the game and people who just want to zip right into the fight. I mean, if you look at current releases, we can tell who won. But it has its charms, in a way. There's aspects of all the searching that makes it feel pretty rewarding. And maybe, you know what, this happens every now and then when you play a lot of Monster Hunter and you get to the end of the game and you start hunting high rank monsters, where you forget exactly how squishy low rank monsters kind of are. And I'm wondering if that's where I'm at. Because other than, like, I've had a death or 2, and I'm not going to deny that there's totally going to be more. But I've also noticed that, more or less, I'm actually dealing with things pretty quick. The fights aren't going on as long as I kind of projected. And it goes to show maybe my recollection of the original Monster Hunter was tainted with an element of the youth that I was playing it at, my first impression with. Because, you know, when you're young, you don't always figure out complex ideas. Or at this point, you know, I've been playing these games for, well, basically since they came out. So, it definitely is an accumulated understanding to bring back into it. But, like, when I find this Iodrome, I imagine it's going to be dealt with, like, quicker than just me trying to find it. Oh, sorry, Bokchoy. Just kind of like, maybe this will, like, draw it out. I have no idea. Sometimes these scales are useful, or these things, and they're money, even if they aren't. Let's hope you're in 3, my friend. Because we're having some serious... hey, there you are. Hey, come here. I have been looking for you. Boop, boop. Okay. Oh, nice, that hit, because maybe it was like the hip hurt box. Or I got my hurt box into his hip hit box. Ooh, unintentional tongue twisters. Hit the hit box with your hurt box. Okay. Staggers are going pretty much how I expected them to. I would love to be able to one area this guy, but we'll see if he gets away or not. Very mobile. I do believe this one was in the first version of Monster Hunter as well. I shouldn't underestimate poison. So I will antidote really quick. Then we'll use another first aid med. Alright, now we're back in the game. Oh, and he is leaving. What can you do? Oh, I got here too quick. Sorry, man. Come on, follow me. Let's do it. Oh, I dodged the poison somehow. Went over my head, literally. Nice. Good hit. Nope. This guy out of the way of a bad hit. Oh, wow. Okay, I was going to say, do you really have the endurance to take that many hits? Like, that I lose sharpness on my blade? That's a strong raptor right there. But I don't think it still counts as 3 carves. No, it's a 2-carve entity. Oh, wow. You know what? I always try and get these things when I have a moment, because you never know when that's going to happen, but I've actually been building up a pretty reasonable amount of Vespoid stuff this time around. Maybe we can mine a little bit too. See how long we have left. Iron ore. Nice. No complaints here whatsoever. Nothing else. Can we get this one? No, we cannot. Alas. Send to the item box. Alright. Get all that stuff through. Get this. What sort of position are we in now? Fair amount of stuff. Cool. Now I wanted to go ahead and buy the herbs I need, replenish my antidote, might as well fill out what I need from that. And let's see here. We can probably get another quest in. What's a good one to take care of? I mean, as much as it's not hyper exciting, this is probably a great item to jump in and get through. A lot of raptors to take care of. But this armor is serving me really well. Ooh. It's intense music. I feel a little worried now. Getting to upgrade the Kezu armor as well and dumping a fair chunk of our armor spheres into it. It showcased to be a pretty effective set. Even the hits I was taking from the Blanca Congo weren't too bad. So if this is viable, I might keep it just for a bit longer, but we'll see. if something better comes around. We'll see if, what's the margin of improvement? How much butter will we be if we do, like, red kazoo? Yeah, you just watched me as I carved up your friend. That is shock and horror. What should you do? Look away. Oh, okay, Bok Choy magically dodged that one, so that's good. Okay, this is the sword. Please embrace it. That is the sword again. And here's the sword one more time. Perfect. This has resulted in completion. Oh dear. Cool. There's gonna be a lot of Monster Hunter games to go through. And you know what? I've been thinking there's one game, I might have even mentioned it once before, that was only released in Japan, and I've never even played it because it's not really a Monster Hunter game. It's like a spin-off. You like play a feline. It's like something village, Poke Village, or I don't know. It has like a long name, and it's not in English. It was developed by From Software, which is kind of weird, but I'd always love to give that a go with translation. I've even talked about it in another video once before, but trying to add English into a Japanese game, having the English is usually like the absolute easiest part. Breaking into the file and learning how it encodes things, learning if anything has been... Oh, did I have the wrong drink? I probably did. Learning, you know, if anything is encoded in a unique way. There's differences in how software engineers approach creating stuff between languages. Even like basic ones. Like the difference between how we store numbers in North American databases and like as a string in code or variable or as a value, whatever. We use dots, where I guess in Spanish-speaking countries they use commas, and like up front it's just a syntax difference, you know, like this is what the language expects, this is what we use when we're coding or whatever. There's nothing inherently wrong or right about either option or implementation. It's when you try and make them talk to each other and you start like getting numbers that are multiplying themselves for no reason, or you're expecting to return one thing and it returns like a 19-digit value and you're like, what the... how did this happen? And it's just like malformations, because a lot of things too is like computers do a lot of math. Even when things don't look like they should involve math, they can involve math. There's ways to approach them computationally where you're crunching numbers or you're calculating the size of things, or you're, you know, that's how you're designing your approach. Ooh. So having a number mismatch and having values that contain numbers get misappropriated or misused, or in some cases just completely displayed incorrectly. That's a big issue. Now, it's relatively well known, especially if you deal with a lot of like international stuff, and there's always going to be differences. Some countries are really, really strict with how they handle the internet, what sort of access they are offering to their people. And then there's, you know, like the EU, and they have the GDPR, General Data Protection Rights, which governs broadly your, or at least a European citizen's rights online, and what somebody who is handling that data is able to do with it, what permissions they have to do stuff with it. And Oh, that's cool. The sort of code of ethics they have to abide while they're holding your data. Now, as far as I know, there isn't really anything like that in North America. There might be lesser versions, but I don't think any of them have the teeth that the GDPR has. Like, there's real, legitimate fiscal risks if you don't abide by the GDPR, especially if you're operating in Europe. There can be really huge fines. And I believe it's possible to escalate up to criminal, concerns. In North America, we're not as strict, we'll say. We let people and companies get away with a lot more. And it kind of opens up an interesting divide, because, like, for discussion, how much is your personal data actually worth? Some people value their privacy really, really highly. Some people would argue that privacy doesn't really exist. It never has. The same people that are saying, oh, I want to be completely anonymous, are the same sort of people who didn't complain about getting a driver's license or carrying a cell phone with a GPS in their pocket at all times. Like, for the most part, you could aim a missile strike off people's phone and you would get them with it. You could launch a needle through space just aimed at their phone and you'd probably get them in the leg 90% of the time. So there's arguments on both sides of that. I see where people are coming from. Ultimately, I don't think privacy is as valuable as folks believe it to be. It's a cool concept, but I think it's more of an invention. Like, everyone deserves to be able to have a space and be safe and close the door or whatever, like, do their thing. And that's totally important. But I think privacy in a broad sense, unless you had some crazy level of technology where you could be invisible and you existed outside of the system and your birth record was hidden and you've never gone online, and if you have, you've scrubbed yourself entirely. You could do that, but at that point you're just not interacting with society. That's not really privacy, that's isolation. Privacy in the world is, a right to be by yourself and record old video games while talking to a random mic, being a dork, and not having anyone bust down the door and challenge that, or question you while you're doing it. But that's important. The idea that you can be immune to society and that's what privacy is, I don't know how accurate that is. That feels like folks trying to warp an argument just to get what they want, instead of paying attention to what they're actually saying, which, to be fair, is a lot of mainstream arguments. Who knows, though? Alright, this guy's here. Haha! Did he just, wallop that thing and kill it for me? That was hilarious. Sorry that I'm not here to fight you, but I will take a shiny. Oh god. I guess I didn't have enough stamina left to do the jump, the dramatic run. I wanted to do a Hollywood moment. It's okay though. I don't know how many of these things I have left. Wow, there you go. Thanks, game. I knew you were listening to me. Do I have first aid meds? Yeah, I haven't really even used those. So let's use that instead of spending my money. Which I haven't, which is great. Hello, I pray. Okay. No. Oh dear. Although, it's funny I'm kind of talking against isolationism. Or, not specifically, it could just be misconstrued that way. I'm arguing that somebody who wants privacy, but explains it as being without responsibility or beholden to social expectations and societal customs and registrations. They are arguing that they want to be isolated. That being said, I think it is also important to be able to be isolated, because I don't think a lot of people have that capacity. I don't know if a lot of people are able to independently entertain themselves. And that's probably why, you know, there's a lot of people going out to enjoy social events, or people who never stop working, or folks who just keep doing the thing, doing whatever, keeping themselves distracted, always having people over on their house. You know, maybe it's a completely random thing to talk about. And I'm sure it's a common phenomenon. Maybe it's more well pronounced and I'm just like a weirdo. Growing up, I always noticed that a lot of people would go through these phases where, like, they always had a certain person over at their house, and it wasn't always relationships. Sometimes it was just like, this is my friend. We hang out like 4 or 5 days of the week, and we're always in the same room, even if we're not doing anything together. And there's some folks who are, they'll make comments and posts about, oh, I'm happy to hang out with someone even if we're just sitting in the same room and we're not even talking, we're just looking at our phones, doing our own thing. I'm just happy for the human contact. I understand the species is kind of wired that way, where that's something we want, hypothetically. It just, I don't know. I feel like we should also alternatively build the skill to be by ourselves and not just, like, be in a place where, oh god, if I'm sitting in a room doing my own thing by myself, this is an issue. Because that's not healthy either. Now, is it good to be by yourself constantly? No. I fall victim to wanting to be sometimes. Like, I love spending time with my wife, and she's kind of the only person where it feels like I can be myself even if I'm with someone else. But for the most part, always having to be around somebody else, always having somebody in the room, especially if you're, like, doing your own thing, like you're trying to, like, play video games, or write, or watch a show, and you just, like, have someone there, I don't know, that feels like going too far. I feel like that is the spending every single day by yourself in the basement version of going out and hanging out with people. It's the other end of the extreme, and it's not good either. I don't know. I don't know what any of that has to do with eye prey hunting, but I guess something. I figure we have time for one more of the kind of takeaway sort of quests from this rank. So let's see here. We can probably go and take care of these Hornetars while we have a moment. Make all of the hunts that are going to be upcoming pretty exciting. A lot of big monsters. I think we're going to get potentially some monster fluid from the completion of this quest, which is excellent. Monster fluid gets used in just a whole whack of stuff. Only downside is Hornetars are low to the ground, so they're a little bit hard to see in foliage. But I'm sure we'll find a way. Oh, okay, and there's a Blonga Conga thing, or... Yeah, just... I would shit my pants when I saw me running too. Although there doesn't appear to be any of them here. I saw mostly the deer. Oh, you know what? Is this path blocked off? Yep, it's too flooded. Okay. You know what, though? These bugs, they might actually be in the caves, so that's a worthy place to check over going through the grassland again. And if they're not down here, that's fine too. If I see one. now oh, okay. Hey. Hey, bug. Yeah, I know. Okay, great. Are they, like, coming from somewhere that I can continue to attack? Or was that my allotted amount in this area? No, here's another one. Oh, nice. I actually got a carve off that. Getting a lot of bug shells. I feel like potentially it's a little bit easier in this generation. Maybe the rate for that drop, that non-explosive death, is better. More in my favor. Come on. There we go. Okay, well, I don't see any more Hornitar, unless one spawns in as I'm running your way. I'm gonna go to the next cave. Yeah, next cave time. This looks like an area I would expect to see Hornitar. Now, this one's actually pretty, that one's pretty big. If I saw a bug this big in real life, I would be pretty, scared. Oh, sorry, Bokjoy. I don't really think I feel like it would hurt me, but if it did try to, that would be a very startling experience. I don't think I'd want to have to, like, do combat with a bug of that size. Especially I think there's like, there is a species of it. They're not crickets, but they look like crickets. And they're huge. And they can take a bite out of you, and I'm pretty sure it like really hurts. They can like eat chunks of your skin. So, creatures of this size, you'd want to be wearing armor if they got near you, that's for sure. Although, who wouldn't? I couldn't envision anyone being in a situation where there's, like, Hornitar, bugs of that size, and just being like, yeah, you know what? I mean, some people are like that. I recognize there's, like, insect people. And they really, really, really like them. I like them as characters. I think they're a really interesting species, but... Whew. Big ones trying to bite me? No, thank you. Okay. Perfect. I think I'm closing in on the final amount. Hey. I think this is a game that includes like a big boss version of the I think it's the Hornitars? Or maybe it's the flying ones. There's like a big boss monster. Or I don't know how big it is, but I do think there's a large monster version of an insect in this game. Which is cool. That's probably the praise that's most frequent for Unite, is the insane amount of diversity that it has and what it offers to the players. All of the content that's in the game is pretty astounding. Especially considering this came out on handheld. So to have a game like this with all the armor sets, all the weapon sets, all the weapon types, all of the monsters to fight, all of the areas that you have in the game, there's just like a whole whack to this package. And then you could bring it anywhere with you. I can remember sneaking my PlayStation P portable PSP to school. Like playing in the bathroom, pretending I had to go take a big crap. And then instead of actually doing that, just sitting there being like, oh, you know what, I can get a Rathos run-in. Nice. Yeah, the game can be addictive. But it made me a better gamer overall, too. I think when I started playing Demon Souls and Dark Souls, and even continuing on into playing and beating Elden Ring, the skills that Monster Hunter bestowed upon me were what let me get through those moments, those quests, those games. So I guess that's to say, if you have children, let them play difficult games. It'll be worth it. They might not do anything with it, but they'll be good at it, and that's at least better than nothing. You wouldn't want to spend all the time playing games and then also be really bad at it. At least I wouldn't. Well, that was a lot of failure there, but it's okay. That Horned is the one that lives. Well, with that chunk of rank 4 quests from the village handled, we're going to give it a go and pick up in the next episode. Thanks for checking out this episode of Monster Hunter Unite.